Hi guys, welcome to OG Cars, and in today's video we are going to be looking at a car that hopefully you've all seen, and if you haven't you need to go back and see the Italy road trip number 2 videos. But here is the car from that trip. It is the 1977 Alfa Romeo Alfasud. So here she is, the Italy road trip Alfasud. This was an absolute joy to drive back from Italy. It's a really good fun car to drive. I've had it here in Wales now for a little while, a good few weeks. I've been driving it around every now and then, trying to only get out in the dry, but the Welsh weather, you know, it's trying to combat me. But yeah, it's great fun to drive, and the roads around here, around the new house, are absolutely fantastic. So it's been great fun driving them around them. A lot of you have actually been asking the story behind this car, and good thing so, because it is a fairly interesting story. So I bought this from Marco, who we bought cars from in the previous Italy trip, and I saw this in his auntie's kitchen of all places while I was buying the other cars, and well, basically I just had to have it. But a lot of people have noticed a strange thing. It's UK registered already. So here's the story behind that. Marco bought this car from basically the first owner. Well, the first owner had passed away and his son had the car and sold it to Marco. It was in a barn and it had been slightly vandalised, as far as we have been able to tell from Marco, and certain bits were trashed, the interior for example. And basically when Marco got it, he set out to make it what he wanted it to be. So he has basically done all the changes you see here. If you imagine a normal Series 1 Alfasud 1.2 5 March A, which is what this was, then you can imagine it is slightly different, especially from the front end. I'll go through all of the changes shortly, but carrying on with the story, about 10 years ago is when Marco bought it, and he very slowly sort of got things together to do it up and do it in his own way. And a few years ago he decided to bring it to the UK, where his main residence was at the time, and he UK registered it, finished it all off. He had the paintwork and everything done in Italy first, transported it over, finished it off in the UK registered it, and then that was it. It stayed there because he decided to move to Italy as his primary residence, and the car came back to Italy with him. So the car has basically just been dry stored for quite a long time because it was finished off and just sat around. So I came over, bought it and drove it back. Now there is a little more to the story than that. So Marco had a mechanic do various things to this car, including the cam belt, rebuilt the carburetors, basically changed all the service items as well. So oil change, spark plugs, all of that kind of thing before we went. And since we've come back, you may see the video, we have just done an oil and filter change on this as well, and I've just fitted a new brake pedal rubber as the previous one was worn. Now let's go through some exciting stuff. This has a fair few changes. Marco found an Alfa 33 basically to donate various parts to make this Alfasud more modern. So firstly, we've got outboard front brakes from the Alfa 33. The Alfasud had inboard brake discs on the front. Obviously it's getting a bit dark so we can barely see, but there is a disc and caliper there. And yeah, so that's a decent upgrade. And the engine as well is a 1.3 twin carb, which is much rortier than the single carb 1.2 that would have adorned this car originally. Following that, there are a lot of TI upgrades to the car. Basically, Alfasud original upgrades, well, would have been on the TI model. So we've got the splitter there, and then we've got the very nice quad lamps, which are quite sought after, I believe. And then we come through to the rear, and we have the TI spoiler. And I can't remember what else. Aha, Georgina reminded me. The other TI thing was of course the interior, which Marco managed to find. Now the door cards aren't actually perfect, but they are pretty good. They're the right colour now. I think he resprayed them to match the black interior here. So black with grey. Let's just pop to the front seats now. And they are in remarkable condition. The seats are actually perfect. So the door cards are a little bit worn, the dash is a little bit cracked in places, but ultimately it's really, really good. You can just see there, it's a really nice place to be. So basically this car hadn't obviously been on the road for quite a while, and I've driven it a fair old way. So it did about 2,000 kilometers back to the UK from Italy. It's residing now in South Wales with me, of course, and we've done a few local shows in it. We've also done Queen Square in Bristol, the last amphitheatre meet that they did, and we also went to Retro Rides Gathering with this and the Vauxhall Astra towing the Panda trailer as well. In terms of things we've actually had to do to this car since it's come back, not a whole lot really. So I've done the expansion tank because the old metal one had leaked through at the bottom. You may see that in the service video as well. But yeah, we've replaced that with a plastic header tank now from Sud Shop, and that is much better. So that's all sorted and all ready to go, and we're driving the car again, so that's great. So there we go. I just wanted to do a quick video on this to touch base on the car. Obviously, if you guys haven't seen the Italy road trip, please go and watch the playlist. It was another epic adventure of ours. And if you haven't seen our other ones, please go and check out those as well. Now, this car's going to be tucked up for winter very shortly, so that's another reason why we wanted to do this video now. But let's leave you with a few Alfasud sounds from that lovely 1.3 flat 4 engine.